Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again soon.
All time, we got Mark with Mindful Reality Podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
What's up, everybody? Good evening. I was gonna jump on here at 9 when I knew I had a clear block of time from 9 until infinity to just cover this whole thing, but I just couldn't wait because I have some things that I have to clear off the plate now, and who knows what could happen between now and 9. By then we could have some more stuff to break down. So I wanted to get out everything that I know from the time the feeds came back on up until now. So for those of y'all who are live feeders, which is pretty much everyone who's going to be on this live, following this live, we know that Jag had this master plan to take off Felicia and Blue, because they both got Blue got the 1 power veto and Jag was going to use his other power veto, and the 2 noms are going to get taken down. Jag is going to take off Felicia, and then he said, I'm going to put up America, and then I'm going to put up Corey. I knew that this was going to be a train wreck of a situation, not just because of the noms, but because Jag did not do it smoothly. Hi, Betty. I don't think that he made the wrong choice by putting up Corey in America. And as I mentioned in my community post, yesterday night, they were having a conversation and saying that if they win HOH next week, they're going to put up Matt and Jag. So the whole thing that Corey was trying to do in terms of guilt-tripping Bowie and guilt-tripping them and being like, I wasn't going to come for you, we had this final 5, that's not true. That's gaming right there. But here's where I think Jag could have done this differently. I think that Jag should have told the truth. Everybody talks about, well, not anymore, but at the beginning of the season, a lot of the people in that house were referencing the cookout, and the cookout, and the cookout, and the cookout. Playing the game with integrity is still a game, but playing the game with integrity. I want y'all to think back to a very integral moment of that cookout season. That moment was when Tiffany was trying to put Alyssa out because she didn't really care about Alyssa. That's X's person, so it didn't really matter. She won HOH. She put Alyssa on the block. Alyssa's getting out of here. Alyssa wins the HOH. Alyssa wins the power veto. So she's off the block. So that means the only person left for Tiffany to put up is her person, Claire. So she could have said, oh, yeah, Claire, we're going to put up this person, this one, and that one, right? We're going to put up X, or I'm going to put up Big D, or I'm going to put up Azza. She could have said that. But at that point in time in the game, that's where the integrity part comes into play. And she had this really important conversation with Claire where she said, it's going to be you. I'm putting you up. And the reasons that I'm putting you up is because, however she said it, I made an agreement, or I knew when I came in the house that I was not going to put up another person that looked like me, and there was a bigger purpose for me, right? Hold on. Good afternoon, Mark and chat. I did not get a notification. I just happened to see you were live. Hi, Charm Life. Hi, all. He should have kept his HOH a secret. Well, we knew that wasn't going to happen. So based on the circumstances of everybody knowing he's the HOH, because it's basically he took away the invisible part of it by telling everybody. But if you're going to tell everybody, which he did, as I was saying, in that moment, Claire was like, Tiffany was like, I'm going to tell Claire the truth. She didn't tell her every detail about the alliance, but she basically strongly alluded to it and was like, I have to tell you, I protected you as long as I could. This is what I think that Jags should have done in this scenario. Jag should have said, there were multiple opportunities to get you out. Cam wanted to get you out, and I protected you because, yes, we did have this final 5 talk that we had, right? I kept you in this game as long as I could, and I was truthful with you when I said that Blue was my target. There was no ulterior motive. There was no backdoor plan, because a typical backdoor is when there's not an invisible HOH and there's not 2 power vetoes. A typical blindside is like, okay, I put up Blue and Felicia and I hope that one of them gets taken down, and then I put up Corey to put him through the back door. That is a typical blindside. So I would have used that angle and said, we didn't know about these, what was going to happen with these double power vetoes, because there was 2 power vetoes and the person that I was originally targeting took herself off the block. I had to think about a replacement, 2 replacements. And you in America, we've worked with y'all as long as we could at this point. Yes, we have a final 5 and everything like that, but you 2 are our biggest remaining threats in the house. And the only way that we could ensure that one of you goes home is to put both of you up, just like you would have put both of us up if the roles were reversed. Would they like that? No. Especially America would not like it. Any way you slice it, America would not like that. But I think the reason she's acting as emotionally as she is because it was a complete blindside. Those remakes from remarks, I think, from Tiffany got a lot of heat when she said it. Listen. I think that I just don't understand. You know, I feel like there are fans that are fans for the purposes of they like the show, and there's fans that are just angry fans looking for things to be angry about. So I didn't see that entire Winner's Circle interview. I just saw, not interview. It wasn't even Winner's Circle. It was Royalty, the thing that she does with Hannah and Big D. I didn't see that whole entire thing. I'm going to watch it at some point later. But the part that she said about America not respecting his boundaries, when I was looking at the comments, people were like, oh, you missed the multiple different conversations that they had, where she kept asking, is this okay? Is this okay? Maybe I didn't see those conversations. It's not like I'm on the feeds 24/7, but I certainly did see the nights where he was like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to do this on TV, not till the jury house. I don't want to do this with my mom watching. And I saw her pursuing him. Now, I'm not one of the people that's like, oh, because his age. It's not even an age thing. It's just a boundary thing. So America didn't quit yet. I think that people have said that if you quit at this stage in the game, you forfeit your stipend. So I don't think she would really quit, but she's talking like she wants to. I mean, I don't even really have to restate my opinions on Corey and America, because if you've been following my channel, you already know my opinions on that. People have a right to feel what they feel, but toxic Twitter is eating things up right now. Pretty much probably because they're mad that they're both on the block. And there's a lot of Comerica stands out there. Yeah, so what I was saying is, again, I think that Jag did this in a messy way, and he's lying about it still, because he's not flat out saying, y'all are a big threat, and we wanted to take a shot at y'all before y'all take a shot at us. That's all you need to say. Keep it at that. You don't have to say anything more or less than that. Stand on that. And I think at least Corey would really respect that as a game statement. America, she's a little more on the emotional side, clearly, but she might eventually accept that as a game thing, as a game move, right? But instead, him and Matt and Bowie cooked up this whole story. We're going to say it's because Blue was saying this and that to us about y'all. Blue was saying that y'all were targeting us, and that's what made us doubt you, this and that and the other. I'm not saying that's a complete lie, because Blue did tell them that they shouldn't trust Corey and America, and that that Corey and America were talking about them. However, Matt and Jag were in talks about when they were going to take this shot at Blue, Corey, and America for a while. So that's one thing that they're doing right now, is to try to scapegoat Blue and put it all on Blue, instead of kind of standing on it and being like, this is my move. So that's the part of it that I don't like. In terms of Corey and America's reaction to it, Corey looked shell-shocked. He looked upset. But he went around and he spoke to everybody, and he lied a little bit, as I said in the beginning. He's still gaming. Even his mind that is mind-effed, because him and his girl are on there together, is still thinking about the game. He did tell America, he was like, I care about you way more than the game. Obviously, I'm not going to campaign against you. You mean way more to me than the game, et cetera, et cetera. She's telling him, I don't want to talk to any of them. I don't want to stay in the house with any of them. I want to go home. And I'm like, America, this is not the type of meltdown that I wanted to see. But I kind of predicted this earlier today, that this is what I kind of expected her to react. Jags was trying to talk to her. She told him to F off. What's the tea for today? By the way, just letting y'all know, I have about 20 minutes. This was just a quick one because I wanted to have a quick reaction to it. It's like Storm Chasers. You don't want to respond really late, but I knew I wasn't going to be free to respond for real until about 9. So there were convos between them about all that before they kissed. It seemed they had more convos. I mean, I believe that they had convos off the feeds, but my issue is not the convos. It's visually we physically saw him say, no, I don't want to do this. And we physically saw her roll her body on top of him, put her hand somewhere under the cover, which made his face turn red. I can't insinuate where, but it looked like it was going to the nether regions. So we can talk about conversations that have been had off the feeds, but we can also talk about what we saw on the feeds. Love your content. Keep it up. Thank you, Tom. Jag deserved the F off. He ran to Corey crying about not taking the type of disrespect, yet had nothing to say to America. They're a bunch of liars. This show is made for that. Well, I agree. The show is about lying, but we always have this conversation. Which lies are necessary? Which lies are unnecessary? Going back to season 23 again. I know I reference season 23 all the time, but it's my favorite alliance. I like that group more than any group, and I've met 5 out of 6 of them. They're just as cool when I met them. As an example, even though Kylan still got mad about this, the Kylan and Xavier one where Big D was making the choice of who to evict between Kylan and Azza. So X worked Big D into being like, okay, we have to get rid of Kylan. He's the biggest threat in the game, blah, blah, blah. We'd regret not taking this shot because then, you know, he could win the next one and we don't know what he's going to do, blah, 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 blah. He has the most comps on his resume, or whatever he said to Big D to make Big D decide to evict Kylan. He didn't tell him that he was going to do that. But then when it came time and Kylan basically confronted him about it, he was like, I respect you as a game player and you would have been hard to beat. And that's why I did it, because if I had given you a chance and you knew, you could have found your way out of it. And I just wouldn't have been able to do it. Whether Kylan liked it or not, he respected it in a way. I mean, I know that he still said all his stuff and they almost had that moment, or they did have that TV moment that looked like it could be a fight, but you know what I'm trying to say. Exactly, because they're actually friends in the house. This is where, when America was complaining, even though I think that her reaction was excessive, it shows that she's not in to win it. She's not really in to win it if she's going to be reacting that strongly to where she's like, I don't care and I want to go home type of thing. But I did understand the core behind the emotions to feel like these are my friends. So even if they were going to put me up, at least be honest about it and give me a heads up. And I think she still would have been upset, but I think she wouldn't have taken it as personally. If I didn't say hi already, what's up, Van Hoot? So it was a secret HOH week where Jag was a secret HOH, but he told everybody, so it was no longer a secret. He originally nominated Blue, and Felicia. Blue was going to be his target to go home. Then they had 2 power veto competitions. Blue won 1, Jag won 1. So Blue was going to take herself down. Jag had a choice of whether to keep his the same and just replace Blue or put 2 of them up. So after doing some thinking and talking to Matt and talking to Bowie, they collectively decided this is our chance to take Corey out of the game. So they put Corey and America up because that made the most sense. And I know exactly what you mean about game lies versus personal lies, Ed. I'm on the same page. The way Jag Matt went about lying is the issue. America's reaction is hurt, turning into anger. She really considered him a friend, but he did the move this way for laughs. Jag nodded Corey and America as replacement noms. Oh, noms. Some people act power crazy when they're HOH. I don't even think he's power crazy. It's just like Jag does too much. Jag feels like every single thing that you do has to have some kind of strong alibi to it. And I think that this is the same thing that Paul, if you remember Paul from, I think, BB 16, was he on 16? No. 18 and 19? I think Paul was on season 18 and 19, right? It kind of reminds me of how Paul was on his second season and somewhat on his first, but more so the second than the first, where everything he was doing, he was trying to make an alibi for it. And sometimes you don't need an alibi. Maybe before you make the move, you don't want to tell them every detail about why you're doing it. Some things you just got to say, I was scared of y'all taking us out. I made the move before you could make the move. That's it. You disagree about it. They don't like it, but they're not going to take it as personally. And then the fact of the matter is, one and maybe two of them are going to be in the jury. So that's terrible jury management on top of everything else. Sari being smart and getting in there to comfort America first is paying off. And Felicia went in there too, actually. So both of the mamas are playing a good social game here. America told Corey everybody knew early, and Sari was the last to know. America told Corey everybody knew early. Yeah, because Corey was lied to by Jag. That was another lie. Corey was lied to by Bowie, not Jag, because Corey actually asked Bowie straight up, "Oh, did you know about this?" And she said, "Late last night, I had an inkling, but I was not privy to that information." And I was like, that is that lawyer background. Bowie all up in those lies. Corey is giving Sari all his info now. Like what? Who do I think should go? Corey, definitely. If you're going to do this big thing, you better take out the target that you had in mind. I'll go Corey. Corey has the social capital to get things going his way, according to Jag Matt, since they always act like they have no agency. Oh man, if Corey goes, he's most likely gonna go. Amazingly, Sari is still in this house. I think 3 weeks after Jared's eviction. Hey Cass, your guy, your favorite guy is about to go. Corey serves Sari, but he definitely does. She gets to the end, but her getting to the end really doesn't depend on her. You got it right, 18 and 19. LOL. I would be doing the same to get them jury votes. Bowie is a snake. Yeah. Have you guys noticed that every time something is going down, for the last maybe 3 to 4 weeks, it's been this Matt Jag Bowie thing. You can add an extra person in there, but it's a core of Matt, Jag, and Bowie. So they always come to Bowie and they say, "Bowie, did you know that this was about to happen?" And Bowie's like, I had a feeling, I thought I might have heard something, but I'm not quite sure. But I think somebody said something about this at some point, but you know that I'm not making the decision. So you never know what could happen. She always gives these I kind of knew, but I didn't know type of statements, which is lying. Bowie and Jag stock went up. Everything back to path to power. See yellow later, have to go. See you later, Betty. I'm going to be back on here at 9. I'm going to be leaving in the next 10 minutes. Like leaving for real, because I have to go to my physical therapy, but I've been glued to the feed since they came on. Mark, stop. I would be doing what Sari did as well. Sari understands jury management. Sari understands her strengths, period. Not even just jury management. She understands her strengths were never going to be to win a bunch of cops. Her strengths are always going to be managing her threat level and maintaining relationships with people. That's just her in any game I've seen her in. Yeah, I knew it's Jag's fault. LOL. Corey's been checking in on us to clean her boogies. First mention of the night. Appreciate you, Mark. Thanks, Marlene. Marlene, were you on the other channel? Or am I mistaken? Oh, America is not happy at all. America is pissed. Pissed. Cash, you ain't right. Yeah, because I thought I recognized your name from my other channel. I wasn't sure. But yeah, that's where we're at. Jag did one of the biggest moves of the season. Maybe actually probably the biggest move of the season, because nobody else has had the power to put 2 different people on the block. So he decided with his power that he got, you know, he won the first veto, Blue won the second veto. So he decided to blindside Corey and America, put them up. They are furious at him, especially America. Ew. I don't know what you find endearing about those 2. I just don't. That's disgusting. America's crying. Yeah, I saw her crying from early too. And I said that's what was going to happen. If you go back to my morning post, I was like, what I want to happen is Hurricane America to go through the house and scream at everybody. But what I think is going to happen is that America is going to be crying. I said that. You know why? Because Mark is an expert on human behavior. Because I'm an observer, because I'm a mental health counselor for a living. So I usually know what I'm talking about with what I'm seeing. I'm not even the best Big Brother coverage guy. I don't know the game the best out of anybody that you could ever watch. But the behavioral aspects, yeah. I usually know what I'm talking about. Their personalities and caring for each other. The rest I ignore for my sanity. America was more comfortable in the game than Corey lately. Her game kind of fell off. Somebody made a post in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in earlier today where they were like, America could have been so good at the game, but she was there for the whole Big Brother experience. And I kind of think that this is true. Because if you have been listening to America when her and Corey are not kissing, and you just hear her talking about the strategy, her reads about what's going on in the house, who she thinks is targeting who she thinks is working with who, so much of what America has said has been on point. But in terms of how she's made her moves in the game, everything shifted. when she started hooking up with Corey. That's the whole thing. I think that she could have been amazing in this game. I know that's what sugar mamas do. Okay, a little late. Cam was going to do that, but Jag... Exactly. Cam was going to do that, and Jag did not want him to do that and talked him out of it. And then Jag did it. Wasn't Cam the last one out? Am I mistaken? Yes, Cam was the last person who was out, right? So he did it right after convincing Cam not to do it. She did tell Jag to F off. Who blocked America from going off on Blue? And shame on them for making us miss out on this great action. Cass and Charm filling my day up with laughter. They make me laugh for different reasons. America's a super fan, but I don't think she ever cared about winning, especially once her focus was on Corey. The perfect medicine after a funeral. Oh, yes, I remember your uncle. Rest in peace to your uncle, and I'm glad that this is bringing you some kind of enjoyment. Cam was last week. Edward, I'm always happy to supply laughs. Yes, Cam was. Facts. Production blocked the feeds. I mean, I assumed that we would get highly edited feeds after, like right after. So I'm not surprised by that. If they cut out stuff that we were supposed to see, I'm not surprised by that. Getting all your questions in the last 9 minutes before I hop off, but I will be back on probably around 9 p.m. So we'll get back to this. I just wanted to get to it now. Let me tell you something. Big Brother, when stuff is happening, because, you know, not much has been happening, but when stuff is happening on Big Brother and I'm working and doing other things, it just feels like this massive to-do pile is piling up. So when I am putting stuff on updates on my community page and all that, that's in between working. It's in between making calls. It's in between writing notes. So I'm like, okay, eventually I'm going to get to this to-do pile. So I could leave it until 9, but I feel like if some other conversation happened between now and then I would have all the other stuff to break down, plus the extra stuff. So I'm like, I have to get on and get this one in first. I heard there was a fight not shown between Blue and Corey America. We'll find out if there was, because everybody is going to talk about it. The feeds. I'm finally going to have a reason to watch the feeds after 2 weeks of just being mind-numbingly bored of these feeds. I'm sorry. I'm happy to bring you some laughs, though. America has to be foolish. What made her think her and Corey? This is what I'm trying to say. Cameron, I'm so glad that you're here, because I've been on an island with this Comerica stuff without you here. So thank you for showing up. That's one thing. I'm not trying to invalidate the emotions that she feels, but I'm also saying y'all made it quite far. Like, the two of you made it to jury. So eventually, if there were smart people there, eventually somebody was going to put Corey and America up together. That's the only play. It does not make sense to put one of them up and leave the other one off at all, and give them a chance to campaign and both stay in there and then go after you afterwards. I think she thought they were good this week. Supposedly Jag said, on God. People swear on their grandmothers, their mother's father, their grandfather, their kids, their puppies. On God, I wouldn't think means anything more than any of that. Please. Matt and Jag wins this next HOH, or do you see another HOH? Unless it's a memory comp, it's hard to see somebody else winning, but I hope somebody else wins. Appreciate you, Mark. Who do you want to win HOH? I would love to see. I don't have one person that I want to see. I just don't want it to be Matt or Jag or Bowie. I would like to see anyone else. America, Blue, Felicia, Sari. I'd like to see any of them take it home. That comment was funny to me. On God. You know, these people swear on everything. I swear on my mom's life. And then they'll be like, my mom has been gone for years. Or they'll be like, I'll say whatever I got to say. The funniest part is Matt thinks he's doing something for Riley with this. He's going to be mad when he sees how played he was. I want the mamas to get this one. That would be fun and funny. Production blocking more on the feeds lately, it seems. I hope something they can win. Me too. Good vibes for the mamas. Go ahead, mamas. They underestimated y'all. It's dumb. Jag gets to play and potentially win the HOH. I would love to see Felicia win. I mean, that's exactly what I thought of, as a matter of fact. He said, on my grandfather's soul, I'm not going to put you up. And I was like, oh, no. Yo, people just say things. I'm not one of those just say things type of people. I know people who have been my coworkers who are like, such and such family member had a heart attack, such and such my aunt died, and nobody died, but they said that so they could get off work. And I'm like, I can't. I believe in karma. I don't just be putting things out there like that. I straight up want an America win. Let her go mad with power. Be at peace going to jury the week after. Felicia, don't be playing. This on God is too old. Who uses that in the BB house? On God is probably the Gen Z version of on my mama. On my grandmama. That's what on God is to this generation. When it comes to God and family, thank you. Thank you. I don't do that. I'm not swearing on nothing. I'm not swearing on nothing and lying on it. I am not doing that. I'm not swearing on nothing. Jack should have been penalized for reveal. Yeah, I mean, that was stupid. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It just made it a week where he got a chance to make 4 choices. That's all it did. I feel like this is what I'm trying to say, Edward. This is what Jag doesn't do. It's so funny that Jag spent all this time. I was telling you guys this, right, for weeks. That Jag was being a hypocrite. And everyone's like, oh, Jag is so nice. Jag is this and that. Jag is that. Jag does not want to own his moves. Jag wants every single move he does to be somebody else's fault. Oh, this was premeditated. This whole thing about him blaming Blue for putting them on the block. Y'all remember, him and Matt and Bowie were talking about doing that. It was his plan to pin it on Blue. This is not something that he was like, I'm telling you the honest truth. He was like, great. Blue came to us with this information. So in anticipation of when Corey and America come to us and say, we trusted you, bro, we're going to throw Blue under the bus instead of just saying, this was the best move for my game. And at that point in time, what does that even do for you? Because one of them is going out. And that person represents a jury vote. They're a pair. So they're probably going to even vote the same if they both end up out. Then they're going to talk to Cameron. They're going to talk to whoever else. And maybe even though Cameron said, you know, Jag and Matt are my guys, I want them to win and I'll vote for them to win in his exit interviews, he said that. But if they come in and say, we got out of the house and this is how, you never know. But, you know, Cameron might still vote for one of them anyways. But my point is they can influence the jurors. That's the point that I'm trying to make. On my mama, on my hood, I'm not putting you on the block. On God. Jag is a follower too, so it is what it is. Hey, Lisa. Of course, you come at this time. This is a standard Lisa thing to do. When I say I'm leaving in like 5 minutes, that's when Lisa is summons. It's some kind of telepathy where she just knows when I say I'm leaving. That's when she's gonna show up. Where we at? It's crazy they mention God's name in a game of deception. Like God is in this really. I know, right? He's a coward. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Deborah. I'm sorry I'm gonna have to leave some of y'all, but I'm gonna be back. Self-righteous. That's the best way to describe Jag. He's very self-righteous in the game. He can see where everyone else is wrong with certain things that they do and say, but everything he does, there's some kind of justification that he makes for it in his head. Agreed. Jag, like Bowie, doesn't want it on their hands, but it's like y'all two were the HOHs, so you can't really blame it on everyone else. His jury management is non-existent. He's just thinking about how do I get to the end. And isn't it crazy how he's still willing to lie to the person going into the jury on the way out, especially in a case where he does not have to. He simply can say, I believe that if y'all were in my position, you would have me and Matt on the block. So I'm getting y'all before you can get me. They can agree, disagree, but it's straightforward. It's just like Edward said, it's not a personal lie. It's not a personal statement. It's like a game statement. And you can be mad at the game all you want, but you add the personal element to it, and that's where you got 2 guaranteed votes against you and 2 people that are guaranteed to try to convince everyone else to vote against you. And there's only 7 jurors this year. So losing 2 out of 7, big mistake. Jag really thought they'd make it easy on him. I'm so glad America's giving him hell. They won't care about blood on it. In House of Villains, if any of y'all who have watched House of Villains, it is the opposite of BB25. They don't give anything. They don't care about whether they get blood on their hands or not. Hi, David. These numbers are just picking up right when I'm leaving. So all I got to ask is hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'm going to be back on here in about 2.5 to 3 hours. I didn't hear the 5-minute cue this time. Just finished cooking here. Okay, I'm hoping everyone outside of the Minuteman wins HOH Thursday. Same here. Okay. Edward, not punished. Edward, hope you are well. Jag will never win. Nah, nobody he sits next to. After you all voted me out, I became a different. I know, right? I see that happening. I see him be using the victim, playing the victim. Probably so. All right, everybody. I have to run. I promise you I'll be back. Thanks for dropping on. Thanks for hopping on. And we're going to talk again later tonight.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But, yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what?
Thank
But
you.
I like this Canadian.
Well,
I like this one.
well, thank you.